So if we mean paid directly or indirectly by anyone involved in this case, it's former party Ryan Reynolds. Hi, and welcome to Flawsome Talk. I'm Kerstin Flaw, and here on my channel, I talk about my good and bad experiences in Hollywood, working as an entertainment reporter, and as you know, a lot about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's legal feud. And as most of you know, if you follow me, I've been dragged into this. A lot of content creators have been dragged into it. 43 people so far has received a subpoena from Blake Lively, who wants to see all our personal data and share it with the world because that's what they do. Anyways, first of all, I really wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of you who donated to my legal fund. I have a great attorney. His name is John Genga, and he's been really supportive so far. And as I said so many times before, I couldn't do this without you guys. And if you still want to donate, there is a link in my description. And if you just want to share support by watching my videos, liking, sharing, commenting, that's amazing as well. I just wanted to say that I truly appreciate all of you so much. So a lot has happened. Again, you guys, there's so much going on every day. People are filing things in that docket like there's no tomorrow. I think it's almost 500 filings so far. And one of them was really interesting. Yesterday, a private citizen got involved. He sent a letter to the judge to say, hey, this is not okay. Also, we have some interesting quotes from Amber Heard's attorney. I am about to pull my hair off. This is so stupid. But first, I wanted to get into that article that the Daily Mail published yesterday because I thought it was amazing. And I think Cassidy OConnell, who I talked about before here on my channel, who wrote her own motion to quash to the judge, they did an entire article about her and how she kind of made fun of Ryan Reynolds in the middle of all of this. I know so many of you have pointed this out as well to me, that Ryan Reynolds ads keep popping up every time you watch my video.
Planning it, so here we go.
And Cassidy made a point about it in her filing, which is really funny. So she said that no third party has access to add additional money to a YouTuber's monthly pay, which is so true, which also makes this whole thing so ridiculous. But she says, we are paid by AdSense according to ads run on our channels. Ironically enough, Mint Mobile often runs ads on my channel featuring their spokesperson, Ryan Reynolds. So if we mean paid directly or indirectly by anyone involved in this case, it's former party Ryan Reynolds. I love that. I love that Ryan Reynolds keeps sponsoring my video as well. So please, if you see a Mint Mobile ad, just like finish watching the whole thing. So he has to pay more to keep it on my channel because I think this is just really funny. Thank you, Cassidy, for pointing this out. So Cassidy is also the one I talked about yesterday. I didn't say her name because I didn't know if this was her real name, but this is obviously not her real name. And she wants to stay anonymous. She has a faceless channel here on YouTube. And of course, she's one of the people who got subpoenaed here, and she took matters into her own hands and she is killing it. She's also pointing out how Blake Lively has been so protective over her own finances. She's saying Ms. Lively herself makes a compelling argument that individuals have a constitutional right to privacy recording their financial information. As you know, the Wayfair parties have asked Blake Lively to share her financial losses with them because she's claiming that she has, suffered a lot financially from everything that's happened. And she's blaming it, of course, of Justin Baldoni. She's blaming that Blake Brown isn't selling well because of Justin Baldoni. She's blaming the Betty stuff on him as well. So as Cassidy is saying here, that Ms. Lively appears to recognize the basic elements of privacy rights that individuals are entitled to, despite her attempts to pierce the rights others are equally entitled to. I feel like Blake Lively doesn't really get it here that, it's not only celebrities that have rights. I think someone needs to tell her that because that's something that she doesn't really understand. She also pointed out a lot of mistakes in the filing. One of them is that Ryan Reynolds is mentioned as a party. He's not a party in this anymore. His case, the case against them from Justin Baldoni, as you know, was dismissed. The case against New York Times was dismissed. So why would they put him in as a party? As Cassidy pointed out, Ezra Hudson's actions violated multiple California rules of professional conduct and disregarded constitutional protections under the First Amendment. She included a claim that Ms. Hudson's office denied issuing the subpoena on 3 separate occasions, which raises serious concerns under the rule of professional honesty and truthfulness. As you know, Andy called their office. He had his lawyer call twice, and they denied that they had subpoenaed Google. And then he posted a recording from when he called the receptionist, and he told her that she was being on the record, and she said, "Oh, I don't know anything about this. Oh, we don't know." She didn't know what to say. And he was like, "Don't you know if you subpoenaed Google? You don't know that? Ezra hasn't told you that?" It's all so shady. And I'm so happy for Cassidy that she got an entire article about her in the Daily Mail. Well deserved. Go get them, girl. I really, really enjoyed reading this. Okay, so let's talk about Amber Heard's lawyer and her incredibly stupid comments. But before I get into that, I really wanted to thank the sponsor of this video, the Paired app that Magnus and I have been enjoying lately. This is honestly one of the most fun and low-pressured ways that we found to connect intentionally every single day. Paired is a beautifully designed relationship app that gives you daily prompts, quizzes, and little check-ins that sparks really thoughtful and sometimes hilarious conversations. And the best thing, you don't have to sit down at the same time. You just answer each other when you can, and then you unlock each other's responses. We did a quiz about how each of us handles stress, and let's put it this way, we learned a lot. These are little things that don't necessarily come up in everyday life, but they actually help us understand each other better. Paired makes it so easy to have time for real connection, even on the busiest days. It's not therapy, it's not fix your relationship, it's about growing together, asking better questions, and actually celebrate your relationship in a way that feels fun and fresh. If you ever said, "Let's talk more," seriously, download the Paired app. Magnus and I have been using the premium version, and it's honestly been a game changer. Click on the link in my description to get a 7-day free trial and 25% off Paired Premium. Whether you've been together for 6 months or 16 years, this app helps you to go deeper and laugh more together. Try the Paired app for free for 7 days and get 25% off Paired Premium with the link below. All right, so first of all, I'm really happy that Variety actually did a story on this. They published this yesterday, and it says, "Blake Lively subpoenas her online critics. Is it fact-finding or intimidation?" I was interviewed in this article, and so was Andy, and so was Ken's, another small creator who's been subpoenaed. And my attorney, John Genga, is quoted here. He says, "They're just offering their opinion like anyone else has the right to do." Who says attorney John Genga, who represents entertainment journalist Kjersti Flo, who also got a Google notice. "We think it's invasive. It's designed to intimidate these people, many of whom don't have the means to fight." So true and well said. Thank you, John. The journalist here says that the case echoes the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial of 2022, which I don't really agree with anymore. I have to say that a lot of people were comparing Blake Lively to Amber Heard, which I do see that as a point here because they're both being caught lying and lying about DV and lying about SH, which is very different things. But anyways, I do see that people wanted to compare Blake Lively and Amber Heard. But to compare these cases, I think is just wild. They have not, I mean, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, that was a private matter between the two of them. They didn't drag a lot of people into this except the people that were witnesses. But in this case, Blake Lively is trying to take down the internet. And everyone that criticizes her, it's a completely different story. But anyways, Amber Heard's lawyer, what's her name? Elaine Bredehoft. I don't know how to say her last name. I don't care. She said something really stupid. She said they basically annihilated her talking about Amber Heard. I think it's great that Blake Lively's legal team is trying to get in front of it. How else do you fight this? Oh, getting in front of it. What does that really mean? To silence every critic online? That's to get in front of it. And she thinks that's great. She thinks it's great that Blake Lively's attorneys are forcing female creators into silence and intimidating people's free speech. Isn't that just an amazing role model for women all over the world? Thank you, Elaine, for that quote. I mean, how can you even say something that stupid? For these attorneys, the only thing that matters is to protect female celebrities from critics online. And that is more important than protecting democracy and the rights of free speech, because that's what's at stake here. Another big difference between these two cases is that in this case, Blake Lively is the aggressor. She was the one who sued. In Amber Heard's case, it was Johnny Depp who filed the lawsuit against her because of that op-ed in Washington Post. So this is very different. Also, the power balance here is very different because in the Johnny Depp versus Heard trial, Johnny Depp was the power figure. And in this case, it's turned around. Blake Lively has the power. She's married to one of the most powerful men in Hollywood. Elaine seems to forget about that. And what does it mean to get in front of it all? To just silence all critics and subpoena them and to force them into hiring expensive attorneys to defend themselves against a celebrity because they spoke about it on the internet, using the legal system to suppress all critics online. That's not noble. There's nothing noble about it. And if I ever had any respect for Amber Heard's lawyer, that's all gone. I didn't really have any respect for her to begin with. But, you know, these people are paid to have opinions that aligns with the people they're defending. I mean, I doubt that any of Blake Lively's lawyers at this point believe anything she says, but they're paid to pretend that they believe her. And I know that they're just doing their job, but don't you have any morals? Another thing that happened yesterday that made me really excited is that there is a citizen of Canada who is just a random person who watches Popcorn Planet who filed a letter to the judge. His name is J. Alexander Townsend, and he is not a celebrity. He's not a lawyer. He's just a private citizen in Canada who donated to some of the creators who've been hit with subpoenas from Blake Lively. And now he's stepping in to ask the judge to protect free speech. He's arguing in his letter that creators are being punished now for sharing truthful and sometimes maybe unflattering information, but that is not what the law is for. The law is not for silencing critics online. He's pointing out all the missteps that she did during the promotion of It Ends With Us. And he also makes some examples of how major Supreme Court decisions all say the same thing. Truthful speech about public figures on matters of public concern is protected, even if it hurts someone's reputation. And as I said so many times before, Ryan Reynolds used this argument to get the case dismissed. And that is his right, his First Amendment right, to say whatever he feels like if he truly believes it. But Ryan Reynolds does not think that we should have the same rules as him. As I said, Blake Lively thinks celebrities should have special rules and they should be more protected than the rest of us. And of course, Ryan Reynolds believes that too. As Jay Alexander is saying here, honestly, it's a chilling message to send that telling the truth could cost you everything. So big respect to Jay Alexander for doing this, for all of us. I mean, to actually go to the length to do something like this, that's really amazing. And I think the more people that do stuff like this, hint, hint, the better it is. I mean, we should all fill up the docket with letters like this to the judge to tell him, you know, this is not okay. And we're speaking for all of us. This is now a threat to democracy. This isn't just a Hollywood story anymore. It does impact all of us. Because if the rich and famous can use powerful lawsuits to silence critics, that's not image control, that's tyranny in designer clothes. They're not suing for justice, or they're not subpoenaing people for justice. They're doing this to scare the next person into silence. They've been selling us relatability and charm, and as soon as someone's poking a hole in that illusion, they threaten us. That's not transparency. That's not fairness. That's celebrity tyranny. And that's dangerous. Democracy dies when powerful people can sue away the truth. It dies when multimillionaires use their platforms and power to silence the very voices that democracy was built to protect. They don't want justice, they want obedience. And if they succeed, it won't just be the truth that disappears, it will be us. Anyways, I wanted to thank Angie for sending me this comparison that she did. She said to me, this reminds me of how Church of Scientology operates, the way they punish people, the way they scare people into silence. And it's so right. Thank you for pointing that out. I think it's important for everyone to keep that in mind, what's actually happening here. And she's saying that the CIA dude that they hire knows these tactics as well and is reflective of what the government has done previously with others as well. So, yes. Anyway, so many important points there. Thank you guys again so much for watching and thanks for supporting me. And as I said, if you want to donate to my legal fund, there is a link in the description. I really, really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Flawsome Talk. See you in the next one. Bye.